Visit Lex proudly presents an ABR Films presentation. It's been said that a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And that is true in both the world of bourbon and horse racing. At Buffalo Trace, that indelible initial step dates back to Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor Jr., a descendant of two U.S. presidents, James Madison and Zachary Taylor. Known as the founding father of the bourbon industry, Colonel Taylor forever unified the classic and modern eras of bourbon making.
Well, definitely the biggest learning for me as Taylor is the fact that he focused on quality also. And we haven't changed that philosophy at this distillery ever since he left.
Among his artisan innovations to the craft were copper fermentation tanks, state-of-the-art grain equipment, column stills, modernized buildings, a more efficient sour mash technique, and a first-of-its-kind steam heating system still used in the warehouses today. Much like breeding a champion racehorse, making bourbon requires time, fortitude, and patience.
I'd say that's probably the number one competency that people should have when making a good bourbon, because the few things we've learned, you can't cheat Mother Nature and you can't cheat Father Time.
In Kentucky, horses and bourbon mature alongside each other, feeding off the mineral-rich limestone water. It takes years to see just how a hunch, an idea, and a science experiment will evolve, and ultimately, how it will taste. Often, a younger generation sips what a previous one crafted.
It is very, very rare that any person ever gets a chance to sample their third batch to its final maturity. That's the legacy you leave for the next generation.
The DNA footprint of innovation remains at the forefront of Buffalo Trace's success.
We have an experimental team of people, and we get together every 6 months and talk about projects and things that we'd like to get accomplished. And then from that, we're able to create plans throughout the year on research and development on new products, everything from different recipes to different distillation techniques. We focus a lot on wood, but the one thing that's kind of a common thing in our experiments we are focused on traditional methods.
Today, experimentation with recipes, aging, barrel treatments, and the environment starts and ends with the master distiller Harlen Wheatley.
To be a master distiller at Buffalo Trace, it means that you've spent time in the distillery and distilling, and you spend enough time to master it. In other words, you've trained and learned under people before you. For me personally, it's been a fun ride to be able to get support from the distillery and ownership and be able to explore basically anything we want.
Wheatley is only the 6th master distiller at Buffalo Trace since the Civil War. The guy he replaced dated back to Prohibition.
All the master distillers since the Civil War at Buffalo Trace have come in with a science degree or background, and then they train under the distiller before them, which I did.
A native Kentuckian with a formal education in chemistry and chemical engineering, the fearless journey for Wheatley is driven by each step closer toward the perfect bourbon.
So I was very, very fortunate to be able to work with Elmer T. Lee and Gary Gayhart, and combined experience between the two, I had over 100 years experience.
bourbon, like developing champion thoroughbreds, has always been about storytelling. The great ones leave indelible memories, from personal experience to long-held favorites. Whether it's Secretariat or American Pharoah, or Pappy Van Winkle or Elmer T. Lee, the names and their legacies are timeless. In the meantime, do yourself a favor. Pour yourself a bourbon. Rest assured, there is no wrong way to drink bourbon. Take a shot neat, because that's the way the distiller put it in the bottle. Or add a splash of water or an ice cube to see if it blooms and opens up on your palate. Or mix it in a cocktail. Toast Kentucky and offer gratitude for the Commonwealth bringing us the best in thoroughbreds and bourbons.
So you're talking about exciting? Yeah, we're excited about what's going on around here because we are just on the forefront of doing what the Buffalo did a long time ago. We're blazing a path that will blow everybody away.
In the end, it's all about enjoying America's native spirit and America's original sport.